What's going on, people, and welcome back to Total Oz Spurs. Alone today, um, you know, boys working hard. How is everyone's week going? Bit of a stressful afterthought to the Liverpool game. Been a couple of days, kind of calmed down a little bit, um, and we're looking on to the next game, which is Crystal Palace. Um, Good old Ali Pally. And before we get into that, though, we are going to go over a few, new breaking news on the future manager of Tottenham. So I'm hearing now that the Xabi Alonso is the new favourite, and it's quite ironic that the favourite keeps rotating between. Three or four guys now. Poch was the main manager until he was linked with Chelsea. And then Nagelsmann was the favourite until it hit the snag with the contract issues in terms of money and then the control Nagelsmann wants on transfers and the team itself. And then the next manager was Company that we're looking at, but it looks like he wants to stay with Burnley to as they get promoted and show some loyalty. And now it looks like we're going with Alonso. And I didn't even realise that Xabi Alonso was a manager for Bayer Leverkusen. This season, he has a roughly 2 point per game average. Has managed 22 games in the Bundesliga, 6 games in Europa, and 3 in the Champions League. They currently sit. Let's just have a look at the Bundesliga. They have Roma in the Europa League. So that'd be nice seeing Mourinho and Alonso come together. They're currently sitting 4th in the, I think it's 4th. Sorry, they're not. They're sitting 6th in the Bundesliga at the moment. And, he's got 13 wins from 22 games. That's not a bad return considering when you look at, us at the moment. I think we have 16 wins from 34 games. So he has 3 less wins with 12 less matches. For me, he was, a top player. Obviously, played for Real Madrid, played for Liverpool, Spain. You cannot disregard the ball knowledge this guy has, and it would really help our midfield. For me, he was more of a number 8. More a number 6, maybe. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know much about his managerial career. Obviously, he's had a very short career. He was a youth coach for Real Madrid in the 18 and 19 season. Was the manager for Real Sociedad B for the 19 and 20 season, and looks like he was in charge until the 2022, and then was hired by Bayer Leverkusen a couple of months later in October at the start of this season. And he's had 31 matches, like I said, with an average of 1.87 points per match. So, the guy seems to at least get a draw in most of his matches, which is fairly decent. Out of 31 games, he has 17 wins, 7 draws, and 7 losses. With a total of 58 points. Now, his knowledge of the game would really help, and the fact that he's, a top player that has won everything in the game. I'm pretty sure he's won World Cups, he's won Champions League, he's won leagues, he's won domestic cups, probably won the Club World Cup multiple times, and he's played in some of the best with some of the best players of his generation, the likes of Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale. Pretty sure he played with them when he was there at Real Madrid. Probably not Bale, but definitely Ronaldo. This is the type of player that players will look up to. Now, I know that there was a rumor that apparently we're not going for Nagelsmann because of his age, that Levy doesn't think the senior players will respect Nagelsmann. I'm sorry, but Nagelsmann has been to Bayern Munich. He's had the likes of Lewandowski, Sane, Mane. He's had, Manuel Neuer, these top echelon players, that have played for Barcelona, that have played for Bayern Munich, sorry. And the fact that Levy questions if players are going to listen to him, I'm pretty sure Harry Kane will. I'm pretty sure most of the players will. He may be a young manager, but he's managed some of the top players in Europe, one of the top teams in Europe. So I do think he has the cojones, and he will have the respect. I think Levy is just trying to find every excuse not to hire Nagelsmann because of the actual requirements that Nagelsmann wants. But I don't think he's going to get anything different from Alonso either. Alonso is going to have an elite mindset. He was an elite player. He's going to have the same. Maybe because Tottenham might be a step up from Leverkusen, that Levy's hoping that he might not want exactly what Nagelsmann wants. He might be okay with having Levy be involved with transfers, but I don't think that's true. I think Alonso's going to look at it like with Conte. He's going to have a chat to Mourinho. Mourinho's going to call it, black and white. He ain't going to bullshit. I'm sure Conte, he's not going to contact Conte, but I'm sure if he has a talk around, with the likes of even Pedro Porro, like he might, contact Pedro Porro, Regulon. He might talk to the Spanish contingency that we've had. Well, not really that many Spanish players, but a few. And he'll be asking, like I said, Mourinho. He would probably even hit up Poch, and find out what the go is. And I think if he wants to be any type of manager, he'll be requesting exactly what Nagelsmann and Poch have requested, and that's to have full control of the footballing side of the club, especially when it comes to transfers and targets. So for me, I don't know much about Alonso's playing style. He's keeping Leverkusen up there in the German league. They are behind the likes of Dortmund and Bayern, but Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Leipzig. So he's in and around it. They're 6 points behind Leipzig, so I don't think they'll make the Europa. I think they'll be in the Conference League by the looks of it, if they keep going the way they're going. But what are your thoughts, guys? How do you feel about Xavi Alonso? I've done a lot of management talk, so I want to move on to the Palace game. So we have Crystal Palace at home at for us it's midnight Sunday morning, so there will definitely be a watch along this weekend. And I'm not looking confident. The way that the Crystal Palace attacked West Ham, they weren't scared. Zaha coming back looking like he was fresh. They got the likes of Elise who can tear us apart out wide. They got Eze who can sit in that in the middle, and him and Elise are very good at combining. They got some decent players. Anderson at the back is a very good defender. I would take Anderson for Tottenham. I wanted him a couple of years ago. I think he's a solid defender. But we have to look at likes of Wilfred Zaha. Like I said, Schlupp. Eze, Elise, even Jordan Ayew. Jordan Ayew got a couple of goals. He's got a couple of goals this season. Edouard, Mateta. They can really hurt us in the attack. And I do feel like their midfield is a bit lacking, but they got the likes of Decore and Schlupp playing in that midfield, and like obviously with Eze in front of them, they seem to be doing really, really well. And at the back they've got some decent players. We're looking at Mark Gahey from them, but they do have the likes of Anderson, Gahey. They got Mitchell on the left, Nathaniel Klein's a veteran of the Premier League. It's going to end with the mindset. Roy Hodgson's there, and he's done an amazing job already. It's actually quite crazy how well they've bounced back since letting go of Patrick Vieira. But Patrick Vieira had him playing really, really good football. I feel like he should have had the time to stay at Palace. I don't know how we win this game, to be quite honest. You can take a look at the fight back against United. You can take the fight back against Liverpool and say, we really did try to beat to beat those teams. And individual mistake with Mora in the Liverpool game was the reason why we lost that. And then, and obviously the capitulation in both the first halves for both the United and the Liverpool game. But, Palace can really hurt us. And this is the only game out of the run into the end of the season that I thought we should win. But this is like for me, I don't even know if we will. I really don't know if we will, because when we go to these lower table teams, I'm not saying they're less up, because at the moment we're not as good. We should even class ourselves in the top 7. We're not playing we're not playing well at all. And Palace are only 14 points behind us, and they've been up and down the season, but they're sitting comfortably in 11th. They're 10 points off the drop, so I think they're safe this season already. But they could be pushing for that Conference League spot, and if we're not careful, we could fall out of the top 8. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take total capitulation. I don't think Palace can catch us with 4 games left. They can't. The max they can get is 12 points, so they won't overtake us. But teams like Brentford, Brighton, and Aston Villa are right on our tail. Even Fulham, if Fulham win all their points, all their games, and we lose all our games, they can overtake us. And I know that's probably not going to happen. We are probably going to get a point from Leeds, or 3 points from Leeds. Brentford's going to be a close game. But this Palace game, I thought this was a definite win before the Newcastle game. Now, looking at it the way we've capitulated in the first half and the amount of goals we've conceded, Palace are going to go at us. They are. And we can't trust our defenders to defend against the likes of... Imagine Porro against Zaha. Zaha's going to tear him a new one. Then you've got Elise who's got a wonderful left foot against Perisic. And Perisic is going to try and make him cut inside because he can't defend on the outside because he's not quick enough. Elise's got 2 feet. Eze and Elise can rotate. And Jordan Ayew is really good at a fox in the box. So I'm really worried about going like them defending. If we can hold them off and transition and get to Kane, Son, Kulu, I would actually start Danjuma in this game. I feel like Tyreek Mitchell's a nice little left back, but I feel like Danjuma's pace might be able to worry him. And Son on that left hand side. I don't even know who their right back usually is. So just have a quick look who they played against West Ham. So Ward's not that quick. So we should be focusing down the left hand side with Perisic and Son. But we've always seen this season, once Perisic overlaps, we've got no defense. And I'm going to say it, like, if you're not going to play Langley and Davies with Romero, with Langley in the middle and Davies on that left side, I don't want to see Dyer in this side. I don't want to see him. I would rather see Tanganga play that right centre-back with Alonso in the middle. Alonso. Talking about Xavi. Romero in the middle with Langley on the left and Davies play left wing-back. This is the game where we really need Royal, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Royal shut down Zaha when we played them at the beginning of the season. Porro needs to either shape up or he needs to do something at the other end, because if we let Zaha run free, we're fucked. And this is a game where I can see Romero getting a red card. I can see him coming in for a rush tackle because Zaha's tearing Porro apart, and he could get a red in this game. And if we get a red in this game, then I think that's our season over. With Romero out, I think he'll get a straight red, to be honest, if he does get anything. And if he does, then that's him out for the rest of the season. And I don't see how the likes of Tanganga is going to be able to... And Romero's not a great defender at the moment. He's not playing very well, but he's our best defender, unfortunately. So this game is worrying. I'm still going to try and predict a win, though. I feel like we can. Our attack is what's going to make them sit back. They do play 4 at the back, so Kane and Son. But even though Anderson's a great defender and is good in the air, I do think that the likes of Son and Kulu / Richarlison / Danjuma on the wings can really put pressure on these guys. I don't want to see Lucas Moura again. If you're going to put someone on the wings, put Mundell on, or push, someone back there, like Skip or Sal or someone, and chuck on fucking Alfie Devine or something. I don't want to see Moura. The last 2 games he's played, he's got a straight red coming on and putting us down to 10 men, and he gives away the goal for Liverpool to beat us. So I don't want to see Moura. I don't want to see, I want to see positive football, but I'm worried. They have great wingers that are quick, skillful, can whip a ball in, and they will run at our defence. and I'm worried. I'm actually more worried than I am at the likes of, like Man City, because Man City like to play the ball in. And as long as you mark Haaland, they can't really do anything inside the box. They can tiki-taka on the outside, but they can't really do too much compared to the likes of Zaha. Is just going to take on Porro every day. He knows he's going to, and that's where Royal did really well this season, like the start of the season, because I feel like Royal kept him. Pretty sure Zaha did play against us. I'll actually double check that. But regardless, whatever, I feel like Royal would, keep Zaha in his pocket because he's much better defensively than Porro. I did say at one stage this season that Porro looked like he was getting better at defending, but the last few weeks he's just been absolutely torn apart, and I am quite worried. I think it's going to be a very, very very tough game if we don't shut down those wingers, because it's just the wingers can't defend. Sorry guys, I was just trying to find if Zaha did play. I don't even know when we played him last. Anyway, besides the point. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for us. I know I said that we're probably going to lose, but this is the only game I felt confident in from Newcastle to Villa that we would win. So I'm going to stick by my guns, say that we're going to win, even though I've pulled out all negative comments. I think we can pull a win, and I think Kane and Son will score. Son looked lively last game against Liverpool. Could have had a couple of goals. So I think he's starting to find a bit of form, and I think him and Perisic are finally starting to see how they can work together. So that's my prediction. Make sure you hit the comments up and let me know how you feel about the game, what you think is good or bad looking into that game, and what you think the score predictions are. So make sure you smash a like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit the notification button so you can get all our future content. And as we always say here at Total War Spurs, stay Spursy.